So throughout lockdown, we've relied on many things to keep us busy. Redecorating, meditating, and Netflix are some examples of that, but also our screen time has skyrocketed. The Chinese video creating app TikTok has seen a huge growth in reach. In April 2018, there were 680 million people using the app, with that number now hitting 1 billion as of January 2021. Joining me, Andrew Quither is one of TikTok's big names. Boasting 34,000 followers and well over 100 videos is Dale Fernandes, who runs the account Delightfully Dale. Thanks for joining me.
Hello, hey Dan, thanks for having me.
No worries. So when did you join TikTok, Dale? And did you begin creating content right away, or did you wait and see the field before you started playing?
Well, I joined TikTok in the month of March. That was when we had our first lockdown, and it was purely out of me being super bored. I wasn't looking for anything serious because at the moment of time I was like, you know what, I'm in my room. I've got to stay here 24/7. I might as well just try this new app out, and little did I know, I'll be here right now. So I mean, when I first started out, it wasn't content I will be doing right now. It was just some funny videos with the green screen behind me, and I tried to experiment different things. I have phases of different genres. To be honest, I'm still doing that. I don't have a specific genre, but I do like being funny. I do like representing. I do like advocating. So yeah, it's a mixture of like everything really.
So you talked there about how you started on the green screen and then you kind of grew from that. How would you define the content that you create now in comparison to how you created it back then?
I think having been on TikTok for more than 6 months, I have learned how to better present myself on the screen. Especially especially in that interface where I mean you can clearly see in my first videos where the lighting wasn't the best. I was just shooting I was just capturing anything really. I mean anything I feel low quality. So the quality of my videos in the month of in the month of March 2020 weren't as good as the videos right now. But again, that's a very subjective opinion of myself right now. So it's just, I don't know if you say the same, but I think that I have improved when it comes to taking videos of myself and the lighting and my fashion sense and how I present myself as an individual.
So your content is almost like an extension of your personality, maybe then, in terms of when you talk about like your clothing style, your clothing sense, and your personal style and things like that. Would it be fair to say that your content is an extension of you?
Oh yes, yeah, I would certainly say so. My personality has developed from the from March 2020. I have certainly learned more things. I have become more woke, as I call it. So I have changed over the months. I have tried to teach myself new things. I have tried to develop when it comes to my fashion sense, because if you compare what I wear now to what I wore this time last year, there would be a massive difference. So I have learned a few things. I've learned to embrace myself. I'm literally wearing a pearl necklace right now. So this is something I wouldn't have done this time last year. So my personality is somewhat constantly evolving, I would say, and TikTok has played a major part in it.
So you talked there about obviously your style, etc., and how that kind of impacts your content. So how do you decide what content to post, and what makes you kind of want to create? How do you decide what to leave out and what to put up?
I think for me, like, I try to make TikToks of different genres, trying to appeal to like a larger segment of people out there. Initially, my content was aimed at people over the age of 18 because the jokes or the content just wasn't suitable for younger audiences. However, recently I have made videos that are more friendly to a wider range of you know of uh, of audiences. So I think it also really depends on what the people want, really. Because when I first started out, I didn't know what I was doing, and then people said that they wanted to see more of something, and you know, that's what and you know, that I take that information and I use it and make more videos that I wanted by my followers or by viewers on TikTok.
So what of all the TikTok is known for its trends, obviously it's known for having all these different trends and all these different things. My favorite one was the hashtag what I'd wear trend. It was like the what I'd wear if I was in Outer Banks, what I'd wear if I was in Stranger Things, etc. What was your favorite TikTok trend, or what is your favorite TikTok trend?
I think my favorite two. I mean, they do change because my favorites change every second. But like currently, my favorite trends would probably be an inanimate object as a person wearing something or as a certain behavior, because I think that that's the way I can express myself individually, and then I can show and I can showcase what I can do with these with these bizarre ideas that I get. So yeah, I mean that's got to be my favorite trend now. But I do like some transformations as well. Trends are what people used to be in the past and what they are right now. That really amazes me, and that's a trend that I could never not like.
So as we heard at the beginning, the app now boasts 1 billion users as of January, as of last month. You say that you joined TikTok in March. When did your content begin to spike in its views and its engagement with people? Was it quite early on, or did you have to build followers for a few months, or how did that go down?
I can certainly say that I had to build followers in a few months. At first, it was just a few followers, and my videos didn't really get a lot of views because there wasn't anything special with them. I always tried to portray myself as being myself, and I always trying to amplify how I look or how I talk. But I realized that being that that I think being viewed more. I think that's I can't think of the right word right now, but trying to get out there and trying to make a viral video does require you to showcase something that others haven't seen before. And I think it was in the month of May or April or sometime around then. I made a TikTok using the face blend feature, and it was something to do with American Horror Story. It was some dark humor, but it did. I think that was my first TikTok that kind of blew up, and that was when I first had my taste of what it would feel like to have a video randomly blow up out of nowhere. So yeah.
And do you feel you're talking there about your content skyrocketing in its views, and the first video that you kind of noticed that, do you feel pressure to be a role model or representative to some young people, or are you just on TikTok purely to have fun and you don't want anything to do with that aspect?
Now, as I said before, when I first started TikTok, I thought it was just something I want to try. I just want to have some fun with it and see what the app was all about. I had no intentions to grow on the platform. Obviously, when I seen people do it and I could see them grow, I also wanted to have a fair share of that feeling. However, it wasn't something I desired for. I would be lying if I said that I wasn't pressurized by audiences to be a person that they want me to be. I realized this when someone first got in contact with me from TikTok saying that I was his only representation. So that made me feel sort of pressurized, but also overwhelmed. But that it just made me think I could do so much more on this platform to cater to its people that haven't been catered for in the past.
Yeah, because I know from your, obviously I follow you on TikTok. I know that you do lives and things to engage with the people who follow you, and people who respond to your content. So I think that's great. And I suppose, could you say that that falls into, again, like the comment that tends to come up a lot on the lives that I've ever watched have been, "Where are you from?" I don't know if you agree with that, but the one that I noticed for sure was,
Yeah.
"Where are you from?" So would you say that that kind of piles on that representative label, having been asked that all the time?
It does, yes. Well, that's a question I get a lot. Now, I'm not sure if that's an efficient or if that's like a textbook conversational starter, but I get the question so many times. And I think it's because of my discontinuity between what I look like and what I sound like. It's something that people don't really I can't think of the word, associate. So people don't really associate what I look like to how I sound like. And when people and when people think about that, the first question they ask is, "Where are you from?" And I'd rather people ask me where I'm from than people assume where I could be from, because there are people there who think, "Oh, I thought you're from the States. I thought you were American." And when I say no, they just refuse to believe me. So it is challenging to put myself out there as not a conventional citizen of a country. Yeah.
And would you call yourself, quote unquote, influencer? That's the word that we hear branded about. It's kind of the word of 2020. It's kind of the modern day word. Would you call yourself an influencer, or if not, what would you title yourself as?
Um, I would not call myself an influencer. Although I would like to believe that I could be one, but I wouldn't call myself an influencer. Like, I'm not even. I don't think I'm that famous. I wouldn't call myself as being famous. I just use a platform to just because I love creating things. I love making people laugh, evoking positive emotions in people is my thing. And I would call myself an entertainer to a certain degree. Well, I know I'm not a Broadway star, but I do my fair. I do enjoy making people smile, and yeah, just really engaging on there.
So recently, I'm sure you're aware, there's been a massive controversy around influencers and their clout on social media, and how they've used that to travel to, some perceive they have used that to travel to some locations throughout this lockdown, such as Dubai being the main one, and quoting business obligations. What do you think about this? Obviously, yourself, you said earlier on about how quickly you can get recognition if you give out the right content. So, do you feel that these influencers have kind of fallen victim to not necessarily knowing how powerful they are on the internet, or do you think it was a silly mistake? Do you think they were right to go? What are your thoughts?
Uh, I wouldn't like. I don't think I could speak. Like, I could say what they think because I never experienced what they have right now. But all I can say is they know what they're doing. If you have a million or 100,000 followers, you should be aware of where you stand in the community. Now, this is not me accusing anybody, but it's just that it's just an individual being socially aware of where they stand and how much influence they have over their followers or over people in the app, or sorry, on the app. Sorry. So yeah, I think going to places just for personal reasons during this pandemic is not something I would see as good because again, if you have a huge following, you could be a role model of thousands or millions, and trying to take a step like this that would put other people's lives at risk is not really a thing that should be praised or something that should be allowed, really. But again, it's it all comes down to introspection, trying to see where they stand and what they're doing. And if someone doesn't realize what they're doing, then then they are then the message is fundamentally flawed. But again, that's just my subjective opinion about the case.
So you spoke earlier as well about how TikTok has allowed you to kind of be more authentically yourself, and your confidence grew as you went through TikTok. Has there been a negative impact, you think, that TikTok has created? Obviously, it's an app surrounded with controversy for loads of different reasons. Is there a negative impact, you think?
I think it has. Yes, it certainly has, because I believe they cannot be good without evil. Like like wherever there's good there's evil. That is a scientific phenomenon, really. But yes, I have experienced things that I wish I would have experienced, like when my videos were blowing up. I've got a very handful of videos that kind of blow up, and with praise comes hate. And that's and I wouldn't say I'm the best person when it comes to handling hate personally, but I do tend to I do tend to push aside all the hate and try to like steer through sanity, really. But I think getting out to people out there, it puts a higher amount, or like a larger amount of responsibility on your shoulders, where you cannot do something that would not be seen well by your followers. And I think it's this pressure that has always I wouldn't want to use it pressurize me, but has always made me aware of every second of what I do online. But I do work well under pressure, so I wouldn't see that as a massive downside of just being of being a creator on TikTok. But when it comes to things that I wish that wouldn't happen, or things that have affected me negatively, it would probably been me spending way too much time over the app. Now I don't know. I don't know if that's what it constitutes within the definition of being addicted. But I do use the app a lot, and sometimes I wish I could take a break from the app. But again, if I take a break from the app, that would limit my chances to grow even further. So it is like sort of a never-ending loop there, where you go through all that, but you still have to be on there, because if you don't, I'm not sure how the algorithm would we how it would be received it. So so yeah, there are a few downsides, but again, if there's good, there's always going to be bad.
And so we've spoken about the bad. What's the good? What positive things do TikTok bring you and your viewers?
Uh, Speaking to people, really, like speaking to people that I knew were out there, being getting influenced, to getting motivated, giving me ideas. I mean, just really, because I think being creative on TikTok has given me the biggest relief during this pandemic, because I do want to put my creative energy somewhere, and TikTok it was an ideal place where I could do that. I did get to meet a lot of new people, yourself included. So I think that's one of the biggest perks of being out there on a social platform. I've got people who come to me asking me for advice, just asking me questions, really, just having a conversation, and it feels like I am contributing to this society by some means. So yeah, these are some of the good, and yeah.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, it's a great app for loads of different reasons, isn't it? But like you say, with good there must come bad, and
Mhm.
unfortunately that comes to loads of different things, and that goes back to the question about how quickly your life changes, doesn't it? And how quickly you're flung into the center of a lot of things. And like you say, people use the app all the time. So then when's Dale posting the next thing? When's he posting the next thing? And it's I can imagine that would be a challenge. Thank you so much for joining me, Dale. Anyone watching or listening can find your TikTok. It's at Delightfully Dale, and they can get you there. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.